Hey there guys, welcome back for another Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine review. This week we are looking at two issues. So this video is going to be for issue 9 and there's a card in the corner here for issue 10. The reason I'm doing both is part to play a little bit of catch up, but also because we get one sprue this week with issue 9 and the other half of this sprue next week with issue 10, which obviously is in the other video, so this week as well. But as they were released, it was one week and then the other. So this sprue comes with two Scarab Swarms and their bases. So we got Swarm and Swarm, these two here, and obviously their bases. And then we get 4 Necron Warriors and their bases. Now I say it's 4 Necron Warriors, but we actually get 6 guns for the Gauls Flayers and 4 for the Gauls Reapers. And this is why we need both sprues before we start assembling the models, because this guide, as we'll see in a bit, tells us how to assemble assuming you've got both issues. So yeah, we've got 4 bodies but 6 guns, and they are going to tell you to assemble them as 5 with the Gauls Flayer and 5 with the Gauls Reaper, which is perfectly fine. We're going to get another 10 at some point, and I'm assuming they're going to say the same thing, 5 Flayers and 5 with the Reapers. That way you will have 10 of each total, and you can mix and match depending on what you want in your units. Me personally, I like my units to have the same, so I've got already 10 with the Flayers, 10 with the Reapers, and with this I'm going to have another the same. I'm going to have another 10 with the Flayers and another 10 with the Reapers. So there we go. That's the models for this week. Right, we also get for our folder a little double fold out thing. Hopefully we can fit this on screen, maybe. Ultramarine Strike Force. Now, as impressive as that is, we get that, and I do believe that is it. From the collection that we are getting with the magazines, it's these two, the Aggressors, which we've already received, and we will be getting Guilliman at some point. We don't get the Reavers, we don't get the Terminators, they're older models. We don't get the Intercessors, we'll be getting Assault Intercessors, and we definitely don't get any of the really cool vehicles, which is a shame because it looks good. But obviously we're only going to get a certain amount. So yeah, so we got the Ultramarine Strike Force led by their Primarch Rabute Guilliman. And Ultramarines Strike Force does battle with the defeated Death Guard Legion of the traitorous demon Primarch Mortarion. Following the blazing light of Guilliman's sword, the chapter advances. Now, it's interesting that they are focusing on Ultramarines and Death Guard, considering that is what Conquest was. I would have thought they would have brought it a little bit more up to date and had Ultramarines and Necrons, but they haven't. But I have just noticed we've got Marnie's Calgar and his Victrix Guard here. We do get them as well, so just an extra couple of models there. So yeah, we get these. I don't think we get a Chaplain though, and I know that we don't get Tigerius. I think that's who that is. We get a Phobos Librarian instead. Forgot the name then. I knew it was a Psyker, couldn't remember what. So yeah, we get a Phobos Librarian instead. But yeah, bit weird that they did Death Guard again. I would prefer to have seen Necrons. And then here on the reverse, again, we've got a little bit about chapter organisation. Now this does focus a little bit more on the Ultramarines rather than all Space Marine chapters. And the reason I say that is the Ultramarines are the standard codex of what an army should be. Other chapters like to change it up a little bit. One example is you've got First Company, and then you've got your battle companies and your reserve companies with a close support, a fire support, and then your scout company. Now with the Dark Angels, we actually get the First Company second company, and then the battle companies of third, fourth and fifth. Then we get the reserve companies, the close support, the fire support and the scout company. The reason it is our first company for Dark Angels is the Deathwing company. The second company is the Raven Wing, which focuses on the vehicles side of the chapter, and then third, fourth and fifth, and I do believe it's possibly sixth as well, but third, fourth and fifth definitely is our battle line companies. So there we go, but obviously this is focused more for the Ultramarines. And we try and fold this back up. So yeah, little fold up there for our folders. Right, sorry about that guys, a little bit of editing there, the camera decided to freeze. So we can see here we've got this part of the glyph is this centre area. We've got this circle with the bits coming down, obviously overlaps that circle, and then the bits coming down with a couple of lines going up would come off of here, and then overlapping that we've got the lines coming up, and this piece for this, obviously we've got the line extends down into that. But what this does is if you're creating your own dynasty, if you want, you could create your own glyph and do the same thing, create little bits of the glyph. Yeah, you know, something fun to do, I suppose. Personally, I didn't know this is how glyphs worked. I've been collecting necrons for a couple of years now, and yeah, I just thought they had the glyphs, you know, the main dynasty glyph. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. So even experienced players still learn new stuff. Then we've got the battle record. So obviously this is for the 10 that we get today and next week, and yeah, we can fill out the battle record for them. So we've got the phalanx glyph here. You can choose which part you want it to be, or whatever that is supposed to be for. Then we've got canoptic scarabs, swarming automatons. These ravenous canoptic constructs seek only to atomize living material and recycle it to the benefit the necron race. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think possibly canoptic doesn't contain the souls of necron warriors, or sorry, the necron tire, the people. They are actual machines made by the necrons, and then if it's not canoptic, then it is the mind and soul of a person. Even if it is mindless or a mindless warrior, it still was a person at some point a few million years ago. But the scarab and the canoptic stuff, I do believe, weren't people. So they use anti-grav propulsion, so they glide above the ground, and they have basically mandibles and claws. They're a fast attack unit. Personally, I don't use them too much. They're good for pushing out in front of your troops and using them just to tie up the enemy, because they are a fast attack. They are weak, they're not super strong, but you get a few of them chomping on an enemy unit, it can hold them down for a turn, which could be just enough to help you win the game or reach that objective without being shot at by the enemy. Then we get Mind Shackle Scarabs. So these are obviously slightly different ones. The Necron arsenal contains many forms of scarabs. Mind Shackle Scarabs come in many sizes, but all serve to enslave mortal beings to the Necron wheel. And then we get Nano Scarabs, and Nano Scarabs are what the nobles use and some of the Necrons, but they essentially rebuild damage on the noble. So when they get a bit of damage, they'll activate the Nano Scarabs, which will crawl all over them and start repairing them. Now, some of the models that we get do actually have Nano Scarabs on them, which I think is pretty cool. The newly modelled ones, they do get you know, maybe one crawling up the legs or on the shoulder or something. So when you're painting your models, do keep an eye out for Nano Scarabs and paint them up a little bit different, just to stand out a little bit. But yeah, cool little detail. Then we got the battle record for the scarabs. Then we've got Ultramarines, Courage and Honour. Though their exploits upon the field of battle are the stuff of legend, the Ultramarines are more than mere soldiers. Each is as well versed in tactics, statecraft and diplomacy as they are with blade and bolter. So, with Macragge besieged by the Black Legion, Roboute Guilliman rallies his troops to drive back the traitors. And I do believe this is when, this particular scene is actually when Roboute was awoken. We can see we've got Belisarius' call in the background there. We've got a duty there, I can't remember what they are called. And then we've got some Victrix guard here protecting him, and up in the background here we can see her. I think that is Saint Celestine. She was there when he rose. So yeah, then we've got a little bit about the Victrix guard and some about Macragge and the Ultramarines. Personal reports for Squad Sevastus. And then we have some Imperium background. So, the Age of Witches. Warp powers abound. The opening of the Great Rift had many terrible effects upon the galaxy. Some were immediately obvious and utterly catastrophic. Others took longer to become apparent, only revealing themselves as the corrupting power of the warp bled out across the galaxy. Now, with the Great Rift opening up, psyches have become a little bit more powerful. At least in the lore. In terms of rule play, I'm not too sure. I didn't play 8th edition too much, so I'm not sure if psyches have become more powerful or not. But yeah, within lore, psyches have become a little bit more powerful, to the point it is now believed that even the Emperor may be reawakening as his power grows stronger because of the powers of the warp increasing his psychic ability. So hopefully within 10th edition, maybe 11th edition, we could end up with the Emperor back, or at least a few more Primarchs, which would be fun to play. So then we got a little bit, it's falling apart already, look. On psyches, so we've got sanctioned psyches. These are the psyches that the Imperium use. If you are an unsanctioned psyker and you are at a young age, they will recruit you and train you up to become a psyker. Depending on how powerful you are, obviously, they need to make sure that they can control you, not the other way around. And if you are an unsanctioned psyker and you are older, there's a good chance that the Inquisition will kill you, or at least capture you and use you to power the field that is keeping the Emperor alive and shining his light out across the galaxy. Then we get alien psykers, such as the Eldar. They have quite a few psykers within their ranks, and chaos psykers, and they use powers that humans just should not be meddling in. Alright, so then we got stories. The Soulless Cohorts. The icy industrial world of Coronar is assailed by necron legions of the Saracen dynasty. Determined to conquer new territory, noble necron commanders summon their soulless cohorts and advance upon the frozen planet, determined to claim it in the name of the Silent King. And then we've got a little bit of a map showing whereabouts in the galaxy this is. We've got an Ultramarines Spearhead Task Force 11 coming to intercept. Then we've got Warzone Ferron and Coronar, where the Necron presence is. So it looks like they're moving from the war zone and trying to take over Coronar. And then obviously, pulling the magazine apart again, we've got the rest of that there, and a nice little picture of what I'm going to assume is Belisarius, but it could be any whatever Adeptus Mechanicus dude. And then we have how to build Necron warriors, and again it does say here you do need both sprues to be able to follow this guide completely. Otherwise this week you'll just be building up 4 guys with the flayers, and then when you get issue 10 you'll build up 1 with a Flayer, and then 5 with the Reaper, so you do have 5 of each. Now they are saying 5 of each, and I would recommend doing it like that for now, because I'm assuming that that's what the playthroughs are going to use. They're going to assume that you have 5 of each and not 10 of one. So obviously make sure that you have 5 of each. If you don't want the other ones and you want to just have Flayers and you are not planning on having Reapers at all, then obviously the playthrough you'll have to adjust a little bit and keep it just as the Flayers. Then we've got the how to assemble them all. Now this is for all 10, so this is how to build 5 of them with the Flayers and how to build 5 of them with the Reapers. If you are using the Flayers as well, then they do show you what option to swap it out for, but it is pretty much the number. You've got A and B, and you just use A instead of B. The arm for the handle is the same, the left arm, and then obviously the right arm is already attached to the weapon. Right, so the playthrough this week, check up in the corner there's a link for that. We are using the Primaris Lieutenant and the Captain against the Royal Warden and the Overlord. So it's a battle of heroes. Obviously not going to go into details, we'll just have a quick flick through. You can check the card there, check that video, and make sure you hit like on that video, as issue 10 is the last playthrough I will be doing if I haven't had enough support with the videos, unless I decide that I want to continue doing them. Okay, so anything new? Primaris Captain, we're going to learn about damage for his weapons, and Primaris Lieutenant, we're going to learn about using his Storm Shield with a 4+ invulnerable save, also known as, or shortened to, invuln save, and add +1 armor save rolls for this model. Okay. Then we've got wound table, so we're actually using a wound table now rather than just assuming they were hurt. The fight sequence is for the close combat, so you charge, you fight, your opponent fights, then player whose turn it is fights with a model, and then your opponent fights. So every turn both players fight, it just depends on whose turn it is as to who fights first, but charging models will always fight first, which obviously it will be that player's turn anyway. So playthrough, we've got damage, a little bit of a guide here, and then the end. So obviously issue 10 you can check out in the corner there as well as the painting video for painting a Saracen up, and the other painting video for issue 10 will be in a card on that video for painting up a Space Marine. And then issue 11 we get our Primaris Librarian. So this is the one that I was on about. We get the Librarian in Phobos armor and a medium dry brush. So the price up on your screen now is for the total of 10 models. Video 10 will show the same price, but it is just for these 10 models. So the total 10 is for both magazines, so we are looking at whatever price. I think it's £22.50 for the 10 of them, but that will be there anyway. And the magazines is obviously £18 for both magazines. So yeah, that will be here. So yeah, that's the end of the issue, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and obviously I hope that the pricing is clear enough for you. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you subscribe, ding the bell. If you ding the bell, you get notifications of when new videos go live. Check out the cards, check out the other videos, hit like on the playthroughs, please guys. If you are enjoying the playthroughs, hit the like button. And if you have subscribed, a huge warm welcome to the inner circle to you. Thank you for your support. And until next time, guys, take it easy. Keep painting those minis.